So we want to continue to make space in these calls, these first calls, just for people to invite and crystallize images. And we really wanted to take the pressure off people feeling like they need to be making something, or, that it should, whatever this is, should be clear yet. And so most of this call is going to be given to people just trying to connect some dots, to tell enough of a story to connect some dots that may include an image that is emerging for you. It might not. And then to open up a little space through silence and through imagination for the people who are listening with you to share the images that they tap into as you tell your story. And so what I wanted to do is I'm going to set my timer for 4 minutes, because that's how long you'll have to tell a story. And I will share the first piece that I've made, so you can just get a feel for how the story maybe crystallizes some elements of my experience. So, and then Gail will do the same thing, so there'll be very different variations. So the dots that I've been trying to connect around this image actually began, Dave, when you and Patty came to my house, and right before the epidemic, and you filmed my, whatever it is you called it, my formation story, or I don't know what. Anyway, is that what you called it? I don't know. He's muted, doesn't matter. And it was a really powerful experience for me, because part of what I did on film is I exposed more of my childhood experience as a sister with a brother who was frequently hospitalized in intensive care. And this started when he was 3 and I was 2. So really much of my childhood was, my most vivid memories are hanging out in intensive care waiting rooms or emergency rooms or some other very heightened state of life and death. And I don't talk about that much, because honestly, as long as my mother's alive, I've been very reluctant to give voice to it, because I worry how she would hear it. And I just don't want her to feel like, anyway. But so suddenly here I am, not only telling the story, but the camera's on and they're taping it. And it really landed in such a deep way. And Dave, I look at you when I say this, because part of it was you're listening in to me in a way that helped really amplify the strength of what that experience brought, not just the devastation or the trauma. And so that was only about a week or 2 before COVID hit America. And what I had become aware of from that description was that part of what part of what I was experiencing is that part of what that prepared me for was to sit at the threshold of life and death. And suddenly that's what my whole city became, was a threshold for life and death. And so the first couple of weeks of March it hadn't really hit yet, but the last 2 weeks in March, people started to die. And a lot of people started to die, and people that I know and am really close to started to die. And I really felt a descent, a really serious descent into a hole. And my friend Manish sent me that poem by White Eagle. And it was like it gripped me and was kind of supporting me to not fall into a hole, right? To see this more as a portal, to be reminded that, okay, I we will get through this together. We will get through this somehow together. And then on Instagram, I saw this picture, some of you've probably seen me post it, of 6 young men, African-American men, praying together in a circle. And that just landed on me in such a way. And I printed that out, not yet knowing how these things go together. But that was on my wall. And as I started to try to understand what, oh, that's my time. Okay, so the other thing that was really landing on me was in sharing how despairing I felt, people would just say, stay strong, right? So there were these dots of prayer, stay strong. When you're remember that Africans and Native Americans have been here many times and they know what to do, you know what to do. And so anyway, what I made of for my first flag was I took the circle of men in prayer. And to me, I can see, even though I didn't write stay strong, to me it was a healing image of staying strong. And it's framed with a Native indigenous pattern. So it has both Native American and also the African American experience of endurance and resilience. And okay, we know how to do this. We'll take our toolbox and we'll depend on each other, and we will pray, and we will pray every day.